Gerlun stared for a long time at the track in front of him, a three-clawed mark with a half-crescent moon positioned in the center. The only creature that made these tracks were the star drakes, the smaller cousins of the great dragon Arel'lia, and they were known to roost where she resided. He had been on their trail for weeks now, sensing glimpses of their presence. Soft music when the wind blew during the night, an outline of silver around shadows cast by the moon, and lastly, any flame seemed to burn out much more quickly, as if in gentle self-protest to being a distraction from the beauty of the stars. Magic might be draining from the world, but among the star drakes, it still was strong. Gerlun touched his necklace, also shaped in the same half-crescent moon, closed his eyes, and poured a small amount of his magic into it. The necklace glowed, as did the claw mark in front of him. A drake was close. Gerlun hooted twice, followed by a long trill, and waited for a response from his fellow star gods. From Stepia, he heard two hoots and silence from Naren. That meant the drakes were moving west. Gerlun once again poured out his magic, this time deeply. There were moments for rationing what remained, but this was not one of them. The magic poured out of his necklace, covering him in a gentle glow of silver, with his feet shining brightly. Gerlun looked forward and could now follow the tracks of the drake glowing through the forest as clearly as a well-worn trail. He sprang forward with the speed of a shooting star, his form a streak of light across the forest floor. He pursued the tracks as they went deeper into the forest, suddenly bursting out of the trees into a clearing where they stopped. He looked left and right as Stepia and Naren approached. Naren was the first to notice. Oh, Gerlun, look around. I see something you're missing. Can you spot it? Gerlun glared briefly at Naren as he spun in a circle trying to find. Aha! He wasn't casting a shadow. Only in the close presence of star drakes or Arel'lia herself did the light of the stars glow so bright. Gerlun shot a wink to Naren's grinning face, crouched low, his feet glowing ever brighter, and launched himself high into the air. As he cleared the tops of the trees, his eyes met with another grinning face, Mateo, the star drake. Mateo was gently perched on top of the branches. Well met, Gerlun of the Star God. We have not seen each other in many moons, and it pleases me you have not crossed through to the Whisper Lands. Gerlun attempted his best bow in midair. I, the same unto thee, Mateo of the first constellation, right hand of Our Lady Arel'lia. At the mention of Arel'lia's name, Mateo's twinkling eyes dimmed slightly. Come, we have things to discuss, and I fear the hour of our doom draws closer. Mateo swept down to the clearing and lowered his neck, imploring the star gods to climb on. Gerlun, Stepia, and Naren stared at each other in stark surprise. No one rode the star drakes. They were not simple beasts of burden, and to even ask one was a grave offense. Mateo growled in impatience and frustration. We have not the time for normal courtesies. Get on! The three star guards scrambled with as much respect as possible onto the back of the star drake. Mateo spread his wings, and with only the sound of gentle music flowing around them, flew up into the night sky. As they left the earth behind, Gerlun took a moment to stare in wonder at Mateo's wingspan. a mere reflection of the constellations above them. Mateo flew high above the treetops and continued on higher than the mountain peaks, and eventually bursting through the clouds, and yet continued to fly higher. Gerlun leaned forward and shouted over the passing wind into Mateo's ear, "Where are you taking us?" "To Our Lady's home," the star drake growled back. And Gerlun watched as shooting stars started to appear around them, gradually at first, and then growing in quantity until they were a torrent of light. Gerlun was lost in a sea of brightness. But slowly, his vision returned, and he found himself standing inside a large, soft glowing orb, through which he could make out other stars all around him. Stepia and Naren were on either side of him. Stepia stepped forward, eyes wide. "By the ancients, we're inside a star. Not just a star, but the first star. You are of the few of your kind who have ever set foot in the home of Our Lady." The star god turned and saw behind them Mateo, to the right of their lady, the great dragon Arel'lia of the stars, who lay upon the ground, her eyes closed shut.